Hello, my sexy muffins, and welcome back to another video. And from the votes, it looks like you all want to hear about for my birthday read-in special, which I have a couple days, so I will be doing this before, and then on the 22nd, the 23rd, I will be doing a Deadpool video, and then I have a Patreon video that will be coming out on the day after, so the 26th? Not the 26th, sorry, Saturday, the 24th. And then I have my video, which is going to be recorded and such of the Asmodeus and Fizz doing birthday special with birthday listener, which is the birthday special and the Q&A. So those videos will be coming out. So if you have any questions that you want to put out, go check them out. Now, trigger warnings, because there are going to be trigger warnings. Mention of how do I say this without getting demonetized? Well, it's going to be a short, or it's not going to be it's not going to be monetized at all. If it's a short, it's naturally going to be monetized. But it's if it's a full video, I'm not going to monetize it. I'm going to have monetization for this video off. We're over a minute, so monetization is going to be off. But still, I want as much people to see it as possible if they wish to see it. That is. So trigger warnings mention of family doing adult things that are usually considered adult fun time to family members that are minors mentioned, and also very sus behavior of the child abuser in the adult way. To me, the I was the victim of this, so this is my story, so I do give consent to speak of it. So if that stuff of the big I word that ends with it makes you uncomfortable, I suggest that you leave this video now, because that will be mentioned in this video. Now let's get on to it. It'll be a short video, so if you want to stay, you can stay. So, for those who do not know, I was R-worded and SA'd by my father for 3 years. I've made peace with that. I've forgiven him for it, for my sake, not for his sake. Not because he deserved forgiveness, but because it was for my closure, because he was on his deathbed, and I didn't want to hold any more anger than I had already inside me at that time. I was 18. It was very complicated. I still have a lot of self-hatred and self-loathing and disgust with my body because of that. I'm learning that in therapy. I just buried a lot of it around the time that my father passed, so this is very therapeutic talking about it. This was about when I was in fifth grade, about 10 or 11 years old. I think it was the summer before fifth grade, so I was turning either 10 or 11. I think 11. No, it was 10. It was 10. Okay, fifth grade. So I was 10, and it was going into the next school year, which would have been fifth grade, and I would be 11 in the next grade. Okay, so it was fifth grade, 10 years old. That is what we're going with. I was R worded and such from 7 through 9, so 3 years of that stuff. And this is what was my 10th birthday when I successfully started to repress the memories of what my father did to me as he stopped. It was my birthday. I had a long day dealing with stress and stuff. My father, though, did something very sus and weird considering the context now that I looked on back of it with adult eyes and knowing that I was S8 and R-worded at the time, because at the time I was repressing memories. So I thought it was just a sweet gesture in the moment. But it was flowers, from my favorite flowers, being petals, being from the front door all the way up the first steps, because our door goes to went to the cellar on the side, and then up a few steps, and then the walkway where we hanged our coats and put our shoes, all that. Then the kitchen, then the dining room, then the living room, then the staircase, all the way up to my bedroom where my dad had a gift for me, a new Game Boy Advance. Wonderful, because my sister threw it at the wall, and I was really excited. So I didn't notice how creepy in the context of it was, because I repressed memories at this time. So I had no idea that I was S8 or worded by him at this time, where he had flower flower petals for his daughter that he assaulted and R-worded up to the steps. That is very, very, very sus. I don't know what was going through my mind. He was mostly drunk or under the influence, which is not an excuse when he did that stuff to me. He was on heavy drugs like cocaine and meth, or whatever they're called, both of them. And also, he was a very, very, very drunk all the time. So I don't know what was going through his mind, and I didn't know what was going through his mind. I didn't even know if he. I don't even know if he remembered the essay in our word at that time. But what made me super uncomfortable is, the thing that parents used to do, where they spank their kid for each year that they were lived. Now, oh, you're 10 years old, you get 10 smacks on the butt, and then a pinch to grow an inch. I remember now that my mind is clear and stuff, and why I got so uncomfortable after this, that my dad didn't pinch my butt, but groped it. Remember, I am 10 years old. This is disgusting to even remember. I'm feeling physically uncomfy. Not fully uncomfy, but it's good processing it. But that is what he did. And I remember I didn't want to eat cake. I didn't want to open my presents, and I went to bed early. My body physically knew that was wrong because it happened to me, and I knew what it was like. Luckily, I wasn't any. I after I turned 10 years old, and it's been like 6 months since he tried anything between 9 and 10, or I can't remember the date. It's either 6 months or 1 month. I can't remember the dates. It's been so long. Literally, it's been over a decade, almost 2 decades to be honest. Because it's been over 2 decades. It's almost been 13. Just it's been over a decade. Sorry, my brain's not mathing. It stopped at 10 years old. I'm almost 29, so it's almost been 2 decades. Yeah, almost 2 decades. Sorry, my brain wasn't doing the math. Anyways, so that's the birthday story that you guys got. It was very sus, and that's the last birthday that I spent with my dad, because my mom and him were getting separated, and 2 years later got the divorce, and then 2 years after that I started having memories of essay and stuff, and didn't have to see him anymore, because my mom fought for me not to have court ordered visitation rights. And the only reason I got that is because I did not go to court, and because the only option was I either get canceled visitation rights and I don't go to court, or I go to court and bring up all this past stuff, which I was just remembering, and possibly have my mom get possibly have kids taken away. I don't know. The lawyer was probably going to threaten to sue that your kid's making up this stuff. You're obviously not a good mom, and try to sue for sole custody. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to deal with courts and be feeling like my life was being picked apart. So that's what I did. But that birthday was the last birthday I spent with my father. Full on birthday at 10 years old. And yeah, it makes me feel gross. So, anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. I'm sorry it's longer than I thought. It will not be monetized, even though it's made it where I could get mid rolls. I am not going to be mad at monetizing my essay in our word if I don't have to. If I'm going to try not to, because that's just gross. I will monetize some videos about trauma, but I'm not going to monetize this one. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed. I hope that if you are I hope that no one's a victim of this, honestly. But if you are a victim of this, I hope that you get to a point where you can love yourself and know it's not your fault. And I send out all my love and support to victims of SA and R word, no matter your age. You have my full support. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye bye.